All set, Dave. Good to go. Christine, you're all set.
I am, thank you.
All right, meeting called to order. It is now 7:01 PM on March 16th, Town Council via Sewer Commission via Zoom.
Hi, everyone. I don't believe we need to do a roll call. Am I correct? Because you did one the first?
No, you should do one,
Okay,
in case somebody left.
okay. Councilman President Goslin.
Here.
Council Vice President D'Amico.
Here.
Councilman Messier.
Here.
Councilman Licciardi.
Here.
Councilwoman Williamson.
Here.
Participating communities, Town of Coventry, Town of Situate, City of Cranston, City of Warwick, Town of West Greenwich. We have a quorum on record. Minutes of the previous meeting. The January 19th, 2021 Sewer Commission minutes were tabled at the last Sewer Commission meeting.
So
Do we want to bring it back?
I assume that we will keep those tabled for now until there's a further discussion.
Okay. The next was resolved that the minutes of the February 16th, 2021 Town Council meeting acting as Sewer Commission is hereby accepted.
Resolution.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I'll take a roll call vote. Councilman Licciardi,
Yes.
Councilman Messier,
Yes.
Councilman Williamson,
Yes.
Councilman D'Amico,
Yes.
and I vote yes.
Next for reports, we have the plant manager's report.
Jeff?
All right, evening, everybody. So operations for February. The influent to our facility, the average was 6 million gallons a day. The max daily flow we had was 11.8 million. The minimum daily flow we had was 3.2 million. Our CBOD requirements for removal were 98%, and total suspended solids were also 98%, which is great for us. Total nitrogen is monitor only, so we're not reporting on that. Total phosphorus, I printed the wrong copy. I didn't print the revised copy. I forget what it is. I think it's 0.050 is what the facility achieved. For sludge, wet tons to Synagro, we had 411.36 tons. Wet tons to landfill, we had 70 tons. And wet tons in total that went out were 481.36 tons. For our collection system, we had 3 backups. One was a public line on Queeset Ave, and 2 were private lines, East Main Street and Lee Street. We had 1 odor complaint on Providence Street, and there were actually no facility violations. I screwed that up, and that's why I revised, and I think in my revision, I forgot to revise that as well. So I'm going to change that. I'm not sure how to do that accordingly in the meeting, but sorry, everybody.
What should it be?
0 monthly violations.
So we'll just amend that to 0
Okay.
violations. Any questions for Jeff?
And we should make the revised plant manager report part of the record as opposed to the one that was on the agenda.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, guys.
Next, we have the industrial pretreatment report.
Good evening, everybody. The industrial retreatment for the month of February. The Ramco, which is now the owner of Rhodes Technology, they took them over at the bankruptcy. They submitted their self-monitoring report and all were in compliance with the regulations. They also submitted their O&M manual as well as their slug control plan. All were in compliance. with regards to private wastewater treatment facilities that were reviewed. Westerman, Center of New England, and Walmart all submitted their annual reports on their private wastewater systems. Coventry's nutrition was inspected, and a permit will be issued next month. With regards to food services, Subway's on Sandy Bottom Road was issued a new permit. With regards to our plan reviews, we continue to work with the facility going in at James P. Murphy Highway. Construction is scheduled to begin next month. Plans and an application was submitted for 124 Sandy Bottom Road in Coventry. The plans were in general compliance and a letter was issued. Exmont, on Ty Oak Avenue, revised their sewer permit and submitted a general plan which was consistent with the regulations. Plans and applications were reviewed for 182 Arnold Road in Coventry. This building, the submission was generally in compliance and a letter was issued. Puff Puff Paulie's on Providence Street submitted an application this month. The property is an existing strip mall. The property owner conducted a visual inspection and submitted a compliance schedule to repair the line on their property. The compliance schedule will allow the tenants to open and repairs will begin in the spring of this year. Sylvia Brothers, which is the Hanush Jewelers on Quaker Lane, began to divide that medical facility, which was a medical facility, dividing it into two tenants. So we first permitted the jewelry facility that'll be located on one side, and then the applicant will submit for the new tenant on the opposite side. And finally, on 5789 Sandy Bottom Road, plans were submitted and a new connection for the strip mall. The plans were not consistent with the regulations and therefore a corrective letter was issued to them. That's all I have for pre-treatment.
Any questions for Jim?
Actually, Jim, I should have called you earlier today. I apologize, but any update on the laser tag in the Bridle Avenue
From
mill?
what I understand, the laser tag is being permitted where we still need to deal with the building owner, which is going to continue to be an issue. But we can't hold, we understand, we want to move the tenants in there. But the property owner is definitely an issue. And we need to deal with that at some point down the road. But a permit will be issued for the laser tag facility.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Jim? Thank you, Jim.
You're welcome.
All right, next is the Director of Administration report. Year-to-date operating and debt expenses for fiscal year 21 as of February 28th totaled $6,307,056, which is 68% of the annual budget. Fiscal year 21 sewer usage collections through February 28th totaled $5,692,857, which is 83% of the total billed. Of the total collected, $100,930 represents interest. Fiscal year 21 sewer assessment collections through February 28th totaled $338,750, which is 122% of the total billed. Of the total collected, $2,590 represents interest. Cash and investments through February 28th totaled $3,235,532. And I also just wanted to let the Sewer Commission know that tomorrow bids will be advertised for plant chemicals and analytical lab work. And we'll be opening up the bids on March 31st. And that's all I have.
Any questions for Christine?
I do. Christine, how, in your opinion right now, are we going to be in the black or the red?
I can't honestly say, and the reason I'm saying that is we have had a little issue getting some records from Kent County Water. So that's what we base majority of our revenue on, so I don't really want to speak on that yet and say the wrong thing. Until I get more of that revenue, I really don't want to say.
If we end up in the red, what happens?
Well, I mean, don't forget, no matter what, we have unrestricted funds to balance anything. So I'm not really concerned.
And how are you on the upcoming budget?
So I'm
what's your product?
I'm pretty far on the expenses and what I have so far for the revenue. Like I said, the majority is what the records that we receive from Kent County Water. We are going to be doing a workshop, budget workshop on April 1st.
Councilman, if I could, I'd suggest that this be put off to when they do have your sewer commission budget hearings, because this matter is not on the agenda this evening.
I'm just asking how far along she is on the budget, if we're behind or we're
Right.
on task, that's all.
But yet, you asked the question about the next budget coming up, FY22, unless I was mistaken.
Correct.
That's not on your agenda this evening,
All right.
unless I missed it.
Any questions for Christine? Thank you, Christine.
Next, we have resolutions for the bid award, a contract extension for emergency generator preventative maintenance testing and repair services. It's for a 1-year extension. Both parties have agreed.
Is this on as a resolution?
That's on as a resolution, yes.
I'll move the resolution then.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moving second, any discussion?
Just a question. We were getting a new generator, correct?
Right. This
That's
is for the pump stations. We have the generators at the pump station. This is a service that we always have for them to maintain all of the generators.
Okay,
Any
thank
questions
you.
for, any further questions? Hearing none, I'll take a roll call vote. Councilman Licciardi?
Yes.
Councilman Messier?
Yes.
Councilwoman Williamson?
Yes.
Councilman D'Amico?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Okay, next we have consent agenda. Resolved that the consent agenda having been posted, all matters having been referred to proper departments and being disposed of or awaiting recommendations, the same is hereby approved.
Resolution.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and
Second.
seconded. Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Councilman Licciardi?
Yes.
Councilman Messier?
Yes.
Councilwoman Williamson?
Yes.
Councilman D'Amico?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Public comment? Is that where we're in? Any public comment from the public on the sewer department? I have an individual raising their hand. I'll allow Derek to talk. Just state your name and address for the record.
Derek Reed, 62 Andrews Ave. Just two questions. Is it a common practice to have all private lines submit that their lines are all up to par?
That's not on the agenda tonight.
It's a question, public comment.
If it's on the agenda, it can be responded to.
Okay, well, I got another question. What if there's a major backup and sewage is coming from manholes? Is the sewer department supposed to be notified?
Again, do you need more specifics? Is it a public line, a private line? Is it a
Private
public
line.
property, private property?
Private line,
Excuse me?
private line.
Private line. Right. Unless anybody has any information that can be provided, again, this would have to be on an agenda item.
Okay, well then I'll ask to have this on the agenda for the next meeting for the sewers. Hello?
Yes, it was noted that you'd like to have that, an agenda item, Derek.
I would like to have the two questions that I asked as agenda items for discussion.
Can you be more specific as to what lines so we know, so we can get answers?
Well, I want to know if it's a common practice, first of all, for all private lines in the town to submit that their lines are all up to par. So,
So
I mean,
Derek, going from your house to the street is a private line. If it's backed up, I'm not even sure if you.
so the private line I want to know about is on Industrial Lane in West Warwick.
Okay.
And that's the same line for the second question as well.
Kristen, you got that for the next
I
agenda?
do. Yes, I do. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Derek.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? Hearing none?
Sorry, motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
5-minute recess.
Good evening. Take care. Happy St. Joseph's Day and happy St. Pat's Day.
Same to you,